I typically answer it
Does it require
with
us
reference to struggle. Being patriotic
serve a powerful majority
is
rather than
about
articulating
demanding
truths
justice
of people struggling for
and
justice?
struggling for truth.
Do our
Patriotism is
outrageous
solidarity.
headlines in the media
Patriotism is
actually facilitate the
understanding what America can
capitalism
be
that makes the
and
unimaginable
never letting go of
possible
that.
in competing for ratings,
We're in
for
a special
clicks,
moment.
for
It's
attention,
not our first,
to
it
tell the
won't be our
story
last.
most dramatically?
But
Do we normalize
these
the
moments of
unthinkable and
chaos
perpetuate
offer
the
us
very
tremendous
problem we
opportunity
claim our
to
free
take stock,
press should be solving?
to do a process
How
check, a reality
profitable
check,
are the
to
blatantly
see
racist,
how much of our progress
misogynistic,
is
Islamophobic shenanigans
based
of
on something real,
our recent elections?
how much of our progress has integrity, how much of it is
In our yearning to
excuse.
tell both sides of the story,
And
we have to ask ourselves,
it
how do we
is my
legitimate
greatest hope that we have the
the
capacity
violence, the irrational
to
prejudice,
take
the
the
stigma,
information we gain and to learn and
disrespect,
grow
disregard, the erasure
in these
of
moments
people's
of
voices?
chaos and
Do
opportunity.
we fail to see the implicit,
I think what it does is it
explicit
leaves us with a
violences
series
we
of
condone
questions.
in our framing of some
It's
of
hard
these
to know
events?
which
Or do we
tactics
reset the
serve
starting
us
point?
well
Do we put the starting line
today
at a place
if our
that privileges
values
power and
have been
erases certain
co-opted in
narratives?
service to power and
This applies
profit.
in
We
really
call this
personal ways too.
neoliberalism, right?
Can you ask me
It means our
to
tools aren't
separate my
fully
own
trustworthy either,
identities as
including
you
tools like
organize
discourse.
issues in a way that has logic for you?
We talk about
Can
dialogue,
I be
discourse
expected
as
to
the
discuss my
solution, the
understandings as an African
panacea.
American without reference to the fact
And we
that I'm also a
use
woman,
this
and that I'm also
idea
queer?
unreflectingly.
If you ask me to speak
It's a
as a
reflexive
lesbian, my experience as a person of color
reaction.
is
And we
indivisible.
forget that it can also be
To
the
ask me
problem.
to sever
We
from the
use our
conversation
characterizations,
on
our
my blackness, my
headlines,
gender,
to
my
perpetuate
sexuality,
some of the
myself,
very
it's a
challenges we
violent
say we want to
act.
target.
It's an
Does
act that
our
reaffirms
discourse,
white supremacy and power
facilitating
and
mutual
privilege.
coexistence, actually ignore the realities of peaceful and productive coexistence,
Ignore an important
and
link
seek
between
to
the violence
compromises
that I experience,
favoring a new
right,
balance
as
of
a woman
power?
of color,
Does it
locally,
require
in
us
my
to adopt
community,
the
perhaps even in my family, right?
narratives that serve a powerful majority rather than
A link
articulating the
between these
truths
local, intimate
of people struggling
violences
for
and
justice?
state violence toward its
Do our
citizens.
outrageous headlines
Queer
in the
movements
media
can't see me as a black
actually
woman. Those are not my
facilitate the
movements.
clickbait
If
capitalism that
queer
makes the
movements are a call to
unimaginable
action
possible
against
in competing for
violence
ratings and
against
for
trans women of
clicks,
color?
for
Those are not my
attention,
movements.
to tell the story
If
most
black movements
dramatically?
can't see me as
Do
a
we
queer or as a
normalize the
woman,
unthinkable
those
and
struggles cannot
perpetuate
offer
the
the
very
truth, the
problem we
solidarity,
claim
the
our
struggle
free press
that
should be solving?
that I can recognize as
How
having
profitable
integrity and
are the
authenticity.
blatantly
My
racist,
intersectionalities, my truth.
misogynistic, Islamophobic
This is a story that
shenanigans
knows very
of
few borders.
our
You
recent
can talk to Native
elections?
Americans, to Palestinians,
In our
to
yearning to
African
tell both
Americans,
sides of the
to
story,
Latinx, to queer
we have to
folk
ask
over and
ourselves,
over
how do
again.
we
Some important
legitimate
truths
the
of centuries
violence,
of
the irrational
coexistence,
prejudice,
hard
the
work,
stigma,
fair play, real
disrespect,
contribution
disregard,
to
the
land, to an
erasure
American ideal,
of
to
people's
community.
voices? Do we
These things are
fail to
lost
see the
in
implicit
rebranding
and
narratives that
explicit
vilify and
violences we
erase,
condone in our framing
or
of some of these
render
events?
people
Or do we
pitiful,
reset the
pathetic, in
starting
need of
point?
service,
Do we put the
rather
starting
than
line
respect
at a
and
place that privileges power
opportunity?
and erases certain narratives?
Failing to connect,
This
these
applies in
local
really personal
truths
ways as well.
and local violences
Can you
to
ask
the
me
greater context
to
of
separate my
injustice
own
and oppression
identities
actually
as you
enables that
organize issues in
injustice
a
to
way that has
continue
logic for you?
and to be replicated.
Can I be expected to discuss my
Our governance,
understandings
our
as an
institutions
African
have no
American
small role to
without
play in
reference to the
this.
fact that I'm also
We
a
see
woman,
precedents
and that I'm
ensure the
also
interests of the
queer?
powerful first.
If you ask me to
Lose
speak as a
internal
lesbian,
consistency is
my
challenged to the
experience as a
breaking
person of
point
color
in the
is
process.
indivisible from that.
Islamophobia meets
To
oil
ask me to
reserves
sever
and
from the
profit
conversation
brings
on my blackness, my
America
gender, my
funds
sexuality,
violent
myself,
occupation of
that's a
Palestine,
violent
an
act.
apartheid system
It's
that
an
shocks
act
even
that
some South Africans,
reaffirms
and that compromises our safety,
white supremacy and
that makes no
power and
pretense
privilege.
at respecting human rights, including the Geneva Convention.
These
And
approaches
we fail to unpack
ignore
the
an
truth
important link between the
between
violence that I experience,
the words,
right, as a woman of
the
color,
the truths beneath our
locally in my
justifications.
community,
And
perhaps
these
even in my
justifications feel
family,
more and more like
right?
equivocations, like pretense.
a link between these local intimate violences and state violence towards its citizens. If queer movements cannot see me as a Black woman, those are not my movements. If queer movements are not called to action against violence against trans women of color, those are not my movements. If Black movements can't see me as queer or as a woman, those struggles cannot offer the truth, the solidarity, the struggle that I could recognize as having integrity and authenticity. My intersectionality a lot about what we care about and what we tolerate. This is a story that knows very few borders. You can talk to Native Americans, to Palestinians, to African Americans, to Latinx, to queer folk. Over and over again, we see important truths of centuries of coexistence, hard work, fair play, real contribution to land, to an American ideal, to community. These things are lost in reframing narratives that vilify and erase, or render people pitiful and pathetic, in need of service rather than respect and legal institutions, opportunity. We shave off, failing to connect, these local truths and local violences to the greater context of injustice and oppression. Actually enables that injustice to continue and to be representative of an American ideal. Our governance institutions have no small role to play in this, and the compromises are safety that makes no pretense at respecting human rights, including the Geneva Convention, and we fail to unpack the truth between the words, the framing, to unpack the truths beneath our justifications. And these justifications feel more and more like equivocations, like pretense. One approach to this is to shift the lens. We talk about a feminist analysis today as an analysis that looks at the politics of the everyday. Unlike the old discourse, today we say these lived experiences, each and every one of them, they're not dismissible anecdotal data. These offer important truths about our society, about our priorities, the impact of our policies, intentional or not, say a lot about what we care about and what we tolerate. The way of life. Can America call itself a democracy when mass incarceration and gerrymandering and voter ID laws and even gatekeeping mechanisms like voter registration and lack of weekend voting, when we have no documented evidence of significant voter fraud? These have, and we've seen, a racially disparate impact, an economically disparate impact, and yet they continue. They are perpetuated by our legal institutions. We shave off the very egregious, the most heinous of these problems that we really allow quite a lot of this behavior to continue, and we call it legal. We call it representative of an American ideal. Even on the most pretextual of grounds, an African American is shot by the police, a Palestinian teenager is executed by soldiers, a dreamer is deported to a place she's never known, from a country she's been trying to improve with her own hard work. Every time these things happen and we react with patience and forbearance rather than outrage, we decide what we value and how far we'll compromise those values, our stated values, and at what cost, for our convenience, for profit, for the way of life that we enjoy, slogans like that some of us enjoy. And water is life. So there's a reason, there's a reason we use slogans like Black Lives Matter and water is life and free Palestine and free Black mamas and dream defenders and stay woke. Each and every one of these hashtags reminds us that we've already committed to the principles they imply. We've committed to these principles by law, without derogation. These are aspects of human rights law, civil rights law, that are part of our framework, and yet not part of the lived experiences of the groups of people facing these violences on a regular basis, facing the stigma on a regular basis. We've lost our values. We've lost These phrases remind us that we have lost something. We've lost our values. We've lost something in our framing and our discourse, no matter how good it may sound. And we need to course correct. We need to take a radical look at what our most honest truths are, what our most local truths are, as individuals, as families, as communities, as a state, as a part of the international community.
This is why justice begins.
This is how we create safe communities, and this is why justice begins at the grassroots.